Welcome to today's Gov Conversation session about why schedule quality matters. My name is Denise Patterson. I'm Director of Research here at Deltek, and we're here with Dr. Dan Patterson, Vice President of Product Strategy with Deltek. And we're going to be talking about a critical topic for any project-based organization, and that is the art of project management. So Dan, you've been building project management tools for years now. From your perspective, what's the state of project management today? How are we doing?
Sure. So project management tools and project management software has definitely evolved massively in the last 20 years. I think we're at a very interesting crossroads going forward. Projects are becoming more and more complicated. The amount of capital expenditure at stake is getting greater and greater. I think also project contracts are actually becoming more litigious, and so because of that, the need for larger, more complicated project schedules is increasing. So that in turn is driving the tools, the project management software, whether it's scheduling tools, cost forecasting, or even risk and value products. That is driving all of those products to provide really more capability, and that capability in turn is then really providing a stronger platform for building, again, larger, more complicated forecasting models such as schedules.
So project management tools, they've been around for years, but it seems like companies still struggle with keeping projects on time and on schedule. Why do you think it's been so hard for companies to address this?
So I think it goes back to my previous comment. I think it's all around schedule complexity or forecast complexity. Because the schedules are now more complex, and as I mentioned, the tools are now more comprehensive. There's more building blocks in those tools that you can use to put a project plan together. That results in a lot more moving parts. That's on one hand, that's good because you have more flexibility. On the other hand, though, it's leading to it's more prone to error. There's more areas where you can use the wrong modeling technique. You can use the wrong piece of information in building your project plan. And so because of that, the plans, yes, they're becoming more complicated, but they're becoming arguably more aggressive, overly optimistic. It's harder to achieve success against these very aggressive plans. At the end of the day, project management is really all about planning the work and then working the plan. And I think all too often project failure is it's really blamed on execution, where my opinion is that at the end of the day, it's the plan that's actually causing project failure because we're setting ourselves up with too aggressive a target in the first place. And so that's really the biggest challenge is helping during the planning phase in establishing as accurate as possible a forecast, whether that forecast is cost and or schedule.
So what can companies do to start to address those kind of issues?
So as I mentioned, the core planning and scheduling tools are now very mature. I think what we are lacking but starting to embrace and acknowledge is the ability to better diagnose those project plans. And what I mean by that is what we call schedule diagnostics. Think of schedule diagnostics as a series of checks and balances that we run against a schedule, and those checks and balances validate the realism of the forecast. Again, the more realistic the forecast, the higher chance we have of project success. Tied to that, schedule diagnostics helps with the structural underpinnings of a project plan, but does very little with regards to, well, did we get the durations right in our sequence of work? And so the area of risk management absolutely helps with determining the realism of durations. And so moving from what we call a deterministic scheduling environment, we're now seeing more and more projects move towards risk-adjusted scheduling. So instead of forecasting that we will finish on a particular date, we're now able to forecast and predict. Yes, we're now able to forecast and predict that we can finish on this particular date with a given confidence level. And that's much more useful to an organization investing in a project because then they can make the decision as to whether they're comfortable with going ahead with that project based on that confidence level.
All right, well, thank you, Dr. Patterson, for joining us today.